All right, we've now are talking about facility management, and we have got Belinda Aga and also Leah joining us today to talk about what's happening in facility management, because obviously facility management and also then capital works are very, very important for maintaining the longevity of your apartment building and ultimately your value. So do we have Belinda and Leah in the room to join us?
Yes, we sure are.
Hi,
Yeah.
everyone.
Thank you, Sam, for inviting us today.
I love that you're both doing it together on one screen. That's awesome.
We just thought it would be easier.
Yeah.
I think it is too. And Belinda, I saw Sam the other day and I said to him, geez, you're Belinda, she's amazing. Is she your wife? And he said, no, she's my sister. And I said, oh.
That's what I say to people. No, I'm not his wife.
Wow.
But it's good to see that you both are as passionate about the facility management as each other. So take us through the slides, ladies.
Excellent. Thank you for having us, and we look forward to sharing preventive maintenance with you today, and sharing our experiences this first half. So we're going to start off with an introduction. So clearly my name's Belinda. This is my colleague Leah. We've both been in the building management industry for about 15 years. So we've both been senior building managers. We've been regional, so we've looked after portfolios of 23 sites and more. So we're very familiar with the facilities management, commercial side of things, and building management.
Yep.
So today we're here to talk about the importance of preventive maintenance, and to share our first-hand experiences of what can happen when preventive maintenance schedule isn't put in place, and having a preventive maintenance schedule, why it's essential, the importance of it, and not just having it, but obviously making sure preventive maintenance does get done. So sorry, just on the slide before, Sam, if you could. Yep. So throughout the presentation, we'll discuss what is preventive maintenance, why is it important, the tools and systems we use to manage it effectively and obviously efficiently, ensure the budget is prepared according to the maintenance cost and repairs, which is clearly important, as you've already said about capital works, which comes into play, liability without having a preventive maintenance in place. And then Leah will talk about, obviously, a bit about Marion Facilities.
Yeah, so if some of you that don't know, so we're from Marion Facilities Management. So we're a private, a family-owned company. We are expanding quite fast now. Currently, Marion Facilities Management, we're a mixed business, so we've got residential, commercial, retail. We've got currently 7 sites, but we're getting more and more each time. So we're expanding quite fast. We are part of a global metro cleaning company, a larger company called Metro Global. So
we do concierge, valet. So our business covers all areas of
hotel services. So with the slide it's got here, it's a management cleaning. We manage a range of support services, all different services. Stakeholders. We manage stakeholders, customers, and regulators like us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So now we'll go into what we're here to talk to you all about, which is preventive maintenance. So some of you may ask, majority of you would be aware, being in the industry, what is preventive maintenance? So preventive maintenance is a regular planned servicing and inspection of all assets, equipment, building systems to ensure we continue to operate efficiently and safely, which is always obviously our main priority in any building. And obviously you want to make a house a home. This is, I think, one of the major important things to do. This proactive approach obviously not only helps identify, but correct a potential issue before they lead to equipment failure, which can obviously be very costly repairs and service interruptions. As it was spoken, as Andrew spoke about before, this obviously, if preventive maintenance isn't done, it can, you'll be looking at special levies, which nobody wants.
Extra fees.
And I think it's important to note as well, Belinda and Leah, that, we're not talking about a standalone home, right? We're talking about, 10, maybe 20, 50, 100 apartments, right? So you're going to have lifts, and you're going to have pump rooms, and you're going to have firefighting equipment, and you're going to have pools. And so these are all factors that, you need to realise are kind of like a commercial component rather than just a residential component. And you need to have the proper kind of maintenance of that equipment, obviously, because you want to, as you say there, extend the lifespan of the equipment, but also reduce the likelihood of a crisis, right?
Definitely. Definitely. Why do we do preventive maintenance, which Sam has touched on already? Why is it important? We carry out preventive maintenance to keep assets, facilities operating safely, efficiently, and obviously that they're reliable. By addressing potential issues before they become a major issue, we help our clients avoid unexpected breakdowns, which can be an inconvenience to everyone, costly repairs, and service disruptions. Preventive maintenance also helps, obviously, extend the lifespan of the equipment and building systems, assist with proper care of assets, and maintain their performance. To prevent equipment failure, a main goal is to fix and find the issue before they cause breakdowns. Well-maintained equipment performs better and consumes less energy, which is obviously a big thing in the industry at the moment. How can we save on electricity costs? As you do have a lot of assets, and majority of them are operated by electricity. Improved performance, efficiency, unplanned breakdowns often lead to expensive emergency repairs or replacements that creates inconveniences, not only for residents, visitors, and anyone that visits your building. Provide cost certainty and reduce long-term expenses. So in short, we do preventive maintenance to protect assets, reduce risk, deliver constant value, reliability to clients, and in addition, we comply with all government bodies. And obviously, if it's not kept in place, as many of you will be aware, this can also affect your insurance as premiums go up yearly. And if they're not maintained, no one wants an increase in insurance.
No, that's exactly right.
Yeah. Okay, so the next slides, we're just going to go through how does it actually work, the preventive maintenance work. So we'll go through the list of the main points that we believe that contributes to the preventive maintenance in place. So the first one is identify the concern. How do you identify the concern, the issue or the concern? So this is based on doing your daily walks, your daily building walks, your site inspections, which we do regularly. We aim to do these daily. Just check all asset, plant rooms, everything, go through all the equipment, just check if there are no alarms or anything. The next point is the schedule maintenance activities. So this will be presented. We've got like an example of a maintenance schedule that we have, an example that we use. So you will maintain your regular servicing schedules and, frequently, depending on monthly servicing, your fire alarms or your smoke alarms, common areas. So depending on what the maintenance is and what the contractor is, you schedule it accordingly. The next point is the technology to track and manage. So that's pretty much the tools that we use, the building management system. So we use such as the building link, My Boss, Trello. So both Belinda and I, we're trained on both systems, the maintenance of Building Link and My Boss. So when we go to other sites, we're able to use them easily. So
and show the staff effectively how to use them. Yeah, and the importance.
Yeah. The next one is the conduct inspections and servicing. So that's pretty much just ensuring what's scheduled is correct and has happened. So we need to check with the contractor and speak to them before they leave the site and just make sure everything's okay. If there's any issues, and we'll discuss that. The last one is to review and improve. So also track the performance data, the maintenance history, asset condition, and then also just ensuring all the certification safety checks are in place. like if you have your lift certificates, your pool compliances, your anchor point testings, for window cleaning, etc. In
Because
the next slide,
nothing annoys me more
sorry.
than when you have a fire safety
Yeah.
kind of like service provider who's meant to be coming in every 3 months.
Yeah.
And then you appoint a new service provider and they say they've not come in and actually looked at the tags or punched the tags for the last 9 months. You know, so you're paying for that kind of maintenance to come out and do the work, but you need to actually have somebody, such as a building manager, making sure that they're actually doing it, right? That they're actually checking everything.
Yeah, because follow-up's just as important.
Yeah. So the next.
Yeah, so the next slide, we just want to share a scenario that both Leah and I were part of in a site that decided that preventive maintenance wasn't important, and what happened. And if preventive maintenance was put in place, what should have happened? So no preventive maintenance. So the owners corporation was strongly advised by contractors, strata managers, building managers to implement a preventive maintenance schedule to clearly ensure what we've been discussing, the ongoing upkeep of the building. However, the owners corporation decided against the recommendation, clearly as a cost-saving measure. During a period of extreme weather, which you guys all know, Australia, you can be clear one day and then have extreme weather the next. The stormwater pumps were unable to manage the heavy influx of water, and one pump failed. This resulted in severe flooding in the basement car park, causing significant damage to electrical systems, lifts, storage areas, obviously intercoms, card readers,
And people's cars, right?
and people's cars. yeah, definitely, which is a very costly exercise.
Yes.
So if preventive maintenance schedule had been in place and regular quality servicing was being done as per recommended by the qualified contractor, they would have identified the failing pump because it was already an issue reported in previous reports. They would have cleared the blockages early. The approximate cost of servicing could have varied between $600 to $1,000 per visit. And if a replacement pump was required, you would have been looking at about $3,000 to $5,000. But unfortunately, because the preventive maintenance wasn't performed, the owners corporation ultimately faced repairs costing around $40,000. Obviously, a financial burden, which I can't remember if they had I think they had the funds, but they were wanting to use it for something else. The incident affected, obviously, insurance coverage, caused major inconveniences. Where did the $40,000 come from? The lift shaft got filled up with water, and anyone that has dealt with lifts before knows what a costly exercise it is to repair anything in a lift. Your intercoms were affected, card readers, so that's a security concern for the building. And like you said, cars, storage cages,
compensation for the residents,
for
damages to the vehicles,
and electricals, because car parks are filled with multiple things. So
they got off lightly. 40,000 is a lot. I would think be on the lower side, right?
Yeah, it was quite a small building.
Yeah.
A $40,000 bill. Where you don't,
they didn't want to spend the money. So.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing is that, if you want to, I have some OCs that say to me, you wouldn't believe it, Sam, we've kept the budget the same for the last 7 years. And I say, that's not healthy. That's not okay, right? Like CPI is about 2.7% per annum. So if you're actually not increasing your levies, you might think you're doing a great job, but something's missing out somewhere along the line, right? And you can do other things instead of actually cutting costs. You can do revenue raising. If you want to, put some telco on your roof, or put an ATM at the base of your apartment block. There's ways to raise money rather than cut costs.
Oh, definitely. I totally agree with that. I've had this discussion with multiple committees. You want to keep your investment thriving. You got to spend money.
Yes. And even if it is like if it's your owner occupier home, it's still an investment.
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
You want to sell it for, a higher price.
Yeah.
And one thing that's actually stopping a lot of people nowadays from purchasing is the levies. So
Yes,
if your
definitely.
insurance premium has gone up or you've got a special levy,
Yes.
people are seeing that, and that's what's stopping them from purchasing. So just keep the big goal in mind when you're doing these kinds of situations.
And
And,
it's just you got to educate them too, so
yes,
they
correct.
understand. Because a lot of the
Correct.
time they don't understand. So if you explain it properly, then the correct steps, what needs to happen, then
Yeah, I think
That's
it's important to tell people why. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, at the end of the day, it's what's in it for me. If I'm a lot owner, why should I be
100%.
paying, basically what would have been about $500, per owner per annum to actually have the preventative maintenance in place? Because, prevention is better than cure. And you may say, well, it's unlikely to happen. Well, the amount of money they spent on those repairs would have actually covered them for about 8 years worth of preventative maintenance,
true.
right? And
Yeah.
would be a cost that you actually could anticipate rather than coming out of the blue.
And to end that, yes, they did end up going ahead and doing preventive maintenance.
I bet.
This occurred.
you would hope so.
Well, they weren't slow learners. We can at least say that.
We got there. All right, we'll go on to the next slide, which Leah will cover.
Yeah, so just wanted to explain why we use preferred contractors. It's just so important to use a preferred contractor. You've already built that rapport. You've got that relationship with the contractor. They know how you operate. They know how the building operates. It's just probably one less sort of problem for the building manager, facilities manager to worry about because they know exactly what's going on with the site. They're reliable and they're 24/7. They call you anytime, you call them anytime, and there's never an issue. So, and then that's important for the building facilities management. We need to have a contractor that is readily available to go and will work with us.
And obviously, the importance, as Leah said, that we've already got that relationship. You're getting someone off the white pages that you've never worked with. Will charge you whatever they want to charge you.
Yeah.
If something was to cost you 3,000, they'll charge you 10, and they'll say, "Oh well,
Correct.
you needed me. You called me to come out." And when you're in an after hours emergency, you just need someone out there.
Yeah, you just need it done. So, I'll just go through this. So this slide here. So I've got here the quality and consistency. So they're familiar with the systems, as I mentioned, ensures consistent high quality work every time. Compliance and safety is important as well. Just ensure that, they're inducted, they know where the emergency exits are and the fire exits are in case there's an emergency. Also, we'll go into the accountability and trust. So it's established relationships mean contractors are accountable for the performance and are trusted to respond promptly and responsibly. You have the efficiency and the reliability, which I understand the building's operations, as I mentioned earlier. There's also the cost effectiveness. We're not always the cheapest option up front. Preferred contractors often save money in the long run by reducing the repeat work, downtime, and risk of damage. And the last one is the record keeping and history. So we have detailed maintenance records. We've got spreadsheets, reports. They're all in the system, and we have
and all our contractors are aware of that. We expect detailed reporting of before and after.
Yeah, there's always photos before and after, and everything is recorded, and everything's reported in the system.
And I think that's important is that, if you have a change of committee, they should still be able to kind of see what's been done historically, right? And the thing too is with the ongoing maintenance, if anything does go, we had a situation where unfortunately there was a backflow of effluent and it actually went through, albeit 72 commercial properties, not residential, but the building manager had not been doing their job properly, and so they were able to, the owners, take action against the building manager because it was their negligence that caused it. So I think that by actually having that kind of extra layer of kind of like professionalism or knowledge, you also have that extra layer of protection, right?
Correct. Yeah, agreed.
And this falls back into this our next slide, which is maintenance platforms, which is so important because you want to be transparent, you want to have record keeping, you want to ensure everyone is on the same page. So we utilize tools such as Building Link, MyBoss, Trello, Office 365 to manage maintenance requests, including scheduled. These are just to name a few. There's many out there. There's smarter systems. There's multiple other sites, including scheduled routine maintenance activities. You can utilize the facilities there, like they've got calendars. You can send reminders to your contractors of scheduled maintenance. This proactive approach ensures all assets are regularly serviced and maintained, helps to prevent unnecessary repair costs, and the most important, extend asset lifespan. Utilizing the calendar tool in these maintenance platforms assists with scheduling maintenance, as we've discussed earlier. The tool can also provide a clear visual record of tasks, assessments, deadlines, and promoting accountability amongst not only staff, but vendors as well.
Correct.
Okay. And then, as we discussed earlier, this is just an example of a maintenance schedule. Not only when using these platforms, you can also, we've just made up one that we put on top of our desk, just as a reminder. The important thing is the company, the expiry, when it needs to be completed, and how frequently it gets done. So you've got it right in front of you on what needs to be done and listing all assets.
Yeah. So this is just an example that we use. Obviously everyone else has different reporting, different reporting systems, how it suits them.
Yeah.
But this is, because we both like visual.
Yeah.
We have to see everything in front of us. So it's just the frequency, monthly, fortnightly, 6 monthly, 3 monthly. Yeah. And then you have, as Belinda said, in the system, it's all set up in the system for your maintenance schedule. So it does alarm you.
So this is just a copy of what's in the platforms, but we like to have it visually.
Yeah.
So your own personal working. But I think it's important for you to see, because like this is just like one page. And you've got things like the plant exhaust fans, the garbage exhaust fans, the CO2 monitoring, the stair pressure fans, the diesel hydraulic pump. Like, if you were to ask an apartment owner, like, were they aware that this is all in their building? I would say 9 times out of 10 they would say no.
Yeah, no, they won't know. Yeah,
no, 100%.
And so that's why I think it is complex, right? These apartment buildings, and they've got a lot of working parts to them, which is why it's important that you have got someone who's overseeing your maintenance, and who kind of like is keeping a reminder and making sure that the kind of like suppliers are actioned so that you don't miss a beat, right?
Yes, definitely. And I think that's what it is. So
we're going to the last slide.
So in summary, preventive maintenance is all about keeping assets safe, reliable, and cost efficient throughout proactive planning and regular checks. Preventive maintenance proactive prevents failures before they happen, extends asset life, reduces downtime, and ensures safety and compliance. The process involves identifying concerns, scheduling tasks, using technology, performing inspections, and reviewing results. And obviously we just touched on the tools that can be used. There's many more. A well-managed building that has preventive maintenance schedule in place saves costs, improves overall operational performance. A capital 10-year plan is a long-term planning document which includes building trust with stockholders, allows you to forecast expenses and revenue, and ensuring proper coordination scheduling of project. And you need to remember to take this into account when you're doing your capital 10-year plan. This is to ensure the building assets are maintained according to the preventive maintenance standards, and that future capital investments align with the organisational goals. Basically, a well-maintained building creates stronger investments.
Which is absolutely correct.
Yes.
It is.
And then, if anyone has any questions, please feel free to ask.
And I think, it's interesting how you say aligns with organisational goals, because, we're talking today about treating your apartment building and your community as very much a business, right? You have an asset and you have people who live and own within that asset. They all have expectations. They may vary. If some of those people were living in a standalone home, they may never clean out their gutters. But at the end of the day, you have to represent everybody, and you have to actually minimise the impact of anything going wrong on everybody, right? So while you may not personally clean out your gutters, guess what? The building will. And that's because it's important that you're not actually, leaving your owners vulnerable. So I've got a question here. My OC has the preventative maintenance schedule, lift, pest control, garage doors, roof gutter cleaning, etc. as part of the AGM papers. So all owners know and vote to accept and amend it. Well, I think that's great. That's really good. Because at the end of the day, you have to all be aware of what you are liable for, right? And what you're actually, talking about in terms of then the ongoing maintenance. So thank you very much, Lynn, for the topics for bringing that information to our attention. Because your strata manager works alongside your building manager. Your strata manager is not responsible for doing building management, right? Your strata manager is responsible for doing the financial and the admin and making sure the suppliers get paid, making sure that you have enough money to operate, that you're taking care of any issues within the building in terms of social. But the building manager looks after the building, and that's why they're two very different.
And that's why it's good to work hand in hand with your strata manager also, and have a relationship, because you are there for the same goal. In making sure that obviously the building is in, preventive maintenance is being done and it's in safe hands, and you are on the floor. So it is essential. But
agree.
And recommendations and educating committees is extremely important. In telling them, like I've just done one recently, came to a new site, put a PowerPoint together on preventive maintenance, and gave feedback on which the recommendations and why they should put preventive maintenance, and it was accepted. But it was because of the education piece that came with it on why it needed to be done.
Well, and that's exactly what Andrew Boss was saying about First Strata.
Definitely.
They do a mandated information session before they're looking at any kind of loan, because, an empowered owner will make good choices. It's when they don't have the information that they actually will show reluctance, or they'll be scared of the change, and they won't take the blind leap of faith. And that's why it's very important. And, Angus Aberdeen was talking this morning about mandated committee training, and we think it's a game changer. So thank you, Belinda and Leah. Sam had to have the last word, darling. So he said, make sure that you talk about the floor walk. And I agree with that, right?
Yes. We did. Tell him he missed out on that bit.
So just say noted, Sam. All right. All right. Great work. Thank you, ladies.